Oh boy, it sure is Christmas in Australia right now. Which of course means that across many countries, across the entire southern hemisphere, we're experiencing summer right now for Christmas. Instead of winter, you fucking northern hemisphere troglodytes. You elitist bastards with all your winter advertising. You know there's other countries in the world as well. But God, is it fucking boiling in here?
Hello? Maybe it's because we're boxed in this house? Because there's like fires and riots outside? See? You ignoramus! And why are we even dusting off a box for a toy meant for small children anyway?
Well, it's actually recommended for, ages 18 plus, so...
Yeah, but why has it been in a box all this time? Shouldn't you at least embrace the fact that you're a child?
Well, it actually creates a pretty good background. See?
It's not in the shop! Why don't you just open it?
Nope. Retains its value this way.
Why must you flaunt your sad life choices? Don't you know that people spending their time and money in a way that makes them happy just viscerally annoys me?
To Lachie, you actual Jabberwocky. From John, with an H.
Oh, he must have got me another one so I can have one in the box and one to open. Christmas shopping is one of the most stressful things to do each year, but one of the best gifts to give or receive was always Lego. You run down to the tree on Christmas morning, shake the box and hear something rattling inside. Could it be? So you start to rip it open, shaking in anticipation and... What the f***? As a kid, I was obsessed with Lego. Any scrap of money I would get, it would take the will of the gods to not instantly blow it all on Lego sets. Fuck. Lego City, Ninjago, Minecraft, even the Lego movie at one point, I was insanely obsessed. But not only was I obsessed with collecting, I loved destroying it all and rebuilding it into other things. Well, I mean, the destroying part I didn't really like when my very young cousins knocked over my Ninjago ship that I got for my birthday with a balloon, never to be repaired again. That was Always when rebuilding sets, I would end up gravitating towards creating stuff that hadn't been made into sets before, like Minecraft before they became an actual line of sets. But of course, I always dreamed of Lego Nintendo. Too bad it arrived in 2020 when I was 17 instead of 7. When Lego Mario launched, it wasn't exactly what I thought it would be, and I was somewhat disappointed. It looked kinda cool, like this little Mario toy that interacted with the levels that you could build Mario Maker style. But the toy was super ugly and the builds were just these kind of floating islands. I wasn't all that interested as much as the builds were really cool to see. The fact that they were so spread out and kind of lackluster, it was like if New Super Mario Bros. Level design, full of random nonsensical bullcrap, was scattered everywhere. Sure, it was probably fun for kids who hadn't been dreaming of this specific idea and way they wanted it to be for the last 10 years. But we did eventually get some really cool sets, starting out with the LEGO Nintendo Entertainment System for ages 18 plus, and 2,646 pieces released for $400 Australian dollars and $229 USD, which is a lot of money. Building this thing took me a while, many hours, but building Lego is honestly the best part. Half the time when I would be done, it would just be the end of it. The set was dead to me. And this thing was a bitch to make at times, needing to line up pieces exactly one-to-one with the instructions, stretch and squish this mechanism with the springs. It felt risky to do, and I definitely fucked this thing up quite a few times, requiring me to destroy the entire thing to figure out what went wrong or where I missed a piece or something like that. Side tangent, when building Lego, sometimes the cheeky bastards would have you build this whole elaborate contraption, and then a few pages later, haha, ×2 bitch, have fun. Building Lego is super fun. That being said, getting hit with one too many ×2 in the instructions is enough to drive someone insane. It's like having someone pick the Great Cave Offensive, sitting through it all, only for someone to re-pick it again. All this to say, when you get hit with the ×2 to connect 30 of these things together, followed by placing 1,000 1x1 tiles, it was hell on earth. That is like playing the Great Cave Offensive twice while hearing the screenshots go off like an orchestra of crickets. My fingers hurt with all their tiny little sharp corners. Following this wasn't so bad, at least I was creating something interesting aside from 100 pieces to represent the ground blocks, but I had to make sure they all lined up straight because these things can honestly start to look really bad if they're all tilted in there, which yes they can be. But it all comes together in one of the coolest features I've ever seen in a LEGO set. The TV house is a built-in, fully LEGO mechanized side-scrolling feature. The quote-unquote gameplay is all automated aside from you turning the handle to activate it, but it is breathtaking to watch as it all comes together. It moves really well and can't turn backwards just like the game, using certain jagged out parts to have Mario jump and climb and stomp all about. Sometimes these play features in LEGO sets are just stupid, like the stud shooters. I fucking hate these things. Where did the stud go? But this thing is just amazing. You've got other cool little details everywhere, like the antenna that can come up, the channel dial that stops at the start and the end, so it feels completely authentic, and the NES itself having a slot to put in a completely LEGO game cartridge and click it in. I've never owned an NES, but this exact one-to-one model is probably cooler than displaying the real thing, built to such detail with tiny little plastic bricks. It looks amazing. And there's even the end of the original Super Mario Bros. 1-2 tucked away under the console. There are a few minor complaints, such as the wonky TV stand that doesn't click in any way, it just sort of sets in there a bit. There's also the handle that always seems to just fall off and isn't locked down the best, as well as the controller always falling out of its ports super easily. But that's probably about it, other than... what is that?
So, you enjoying the toy?
Oh, well, it's more of a collector's item, you know. But it's going great. It's going great. I'm definitely not addicted to buying these. You know, like Lego sets in general. But I'm not referring to anything in specific, of course. Like nothing here. You know, but.
Oh, wow! You bought more like a small child with no parental supervision.
Hey, it's recommended for ages 18+. Bowser is an amazing character. I don't think anyone can say they hate Bowser. He's fun, he's goofy, he's super intimidating when he wants to be, and I'm especially fond of what my idiot friend dubs the Bowser Vor game, Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, where Bowser stars as essentially the main character in a whole RPG. But an adaptation of Bowser I always loved was from New Super Mario Bros. Wii, where you fight him the traditional way first, slipping under him to collapse the bridge and drop him into lava, but then Kamek appears and casts a spell to make Bowser extremely huge, and you gotta run through all kinds of obstacles, but you need Bowser to clear the way for you, baiting out fireballs, and then at the end, performing the most clutch jumps you could imagine. It's amazing. Anyway, this moment as a kid really stuck with me. It was one of those first final bosses I ever reached in any game, and the bait before the dramatic twist in gameplay was both exhilarating and terrifying. Not only that, but he does a similar thing in the Bowser's Inside Story, where he takes on these giant battles where you get to control him in these epic fights. That kind of huge, powerful Bowser I always loved to see in Mario games. I could have only dreamed I'd get that in LEGO form, and then they delivered this amazing beast. LEGO Super Mario's The Mighty Bowser set released in October 2022, retailing again for 400 AED and 269 USD, with 2,800 pieces across both his included base and himself. Honestly, the box for this one has Bowser looking pretty good, all except for his facial expression. It looks a little bit off, the camera angle sort of accentuating his head and arms quite a bit more than you'd expect, and his mouth slightly open in a bit of a dopey way. But I remained optimistic because I spent $300 on it. The building process for this one was honestly a lot more enjoyable than the NES. Building these giant body parts was crazy. Lots of weird mechanics and designs coming together in ways you'd only see later down the line. When it all came together, however, I was so happy to see that this build was amazing. He has such a three-dimensional depth to him. He's huge, but it's just the right proportions, with his huge chunky shell on the back looking absolutely spectacular, despite only being viewable from the back. And the features on this guy are nuts. He acts like a freaking puppet when you hold him, lifting his feet off the ground and dropping down seamlessly when he hits the ground. It really makes it feel like he can leap through the air like in the games. He can also open his mouth to shoot a fireball if you open it far enough, and you can move his head side to side. You can also move his eyes, but maybe there should be a way to do that other than literally moving his eyes with a finger. Speaking of his eyes and face as a whole, he fortunately looks way less goofy and can even look super intimidating if you angle his eyebrows down. The eyebrows in general allow for a lot of expression. As for the minor complaints, although he's definitely quite poseable in the arms, They can be a bit stiff at times, although they do look great. All except the thumb, which has this odd grey bit sticking out and it feels like the thumb doesn't move all too naturally. And to end it all off, the base he stands on has a really cool design that I definitely don't break constantly because it's really fragile on both sides. Ultimately, I think this is one of the coolest LEGO builds I've ever seen. I can even see kids enjoying this one a lot too, just maybe with a decent amount of LEGO building experience and patience. I feel in contrast to the NES with some stupid building techniques, the 18+ age rating feels a bit more flexible here. Although maybe the rating isn't even building difficulty but intended audience, which is fair as these are some of the coolest LEGO display pieces you could get, instead of just packing them away after they're completed. But what is this in the base? Is it some kind of cheat code for Mario games? Or like some kind of hack or something? I have to know. What are these things? How do I find...
Hello, it's me, Mr. Lego himself. I, of course, invented Lego for lots of small people of all ages to enjoy. I've been summoned here. How can I help you?
Yes, of course you'd be able to help me. Mr. Lego, what are these strange tiles on these sets that I've bought? What do they do? Am I missing out on some cool feature that all these other YouTubers and collectors have? I need to know what it does.
Haha, of course. Those tiles can only be scanned by this, the immaculately designed Lego Super Mario figure, with inbuilt interactive technology with included and additional expansion Lego sets.
Haha, wow, that looks mortifying. How do I find one?
Well, Lachie, unfortunately they're just flying off the shelves as we speak. They're a hot item this Christmas. I don't even know how you'd even acquire the starter kit.
Give me 1 second. Here we go. Took the last one at the store from some old decrepit grandmother buying it for her grandchild.
That's the Christmas spirit. Now you won't miss out on our amazing product. Indulge, you sad man child.
Lego Mario. Yes, I bought it just to show this off. On Bowser, you can use him to fight Bowser, so that's why this pole is so flimsy. It holds a power block to beat him up. Okay, I guess that wasn't all too necessary though. But all this is a huge feature for the Lego NES build. It acts as a speaker for the side-scrolling Mario game, even able to read all the different things the little 8-bit Mario does down here. This is a really cool addition this toy provides, so I definitely recommend getting this toy for the build just to round it all out. But I didn't just get the toy, I ended up getting the entire starter kit for this range. So basically, you build out a little course for Lego Mario to run along, trying to get as many coins as 1 minute before reaching the goal pole. These sets wanted to capture the feel of being able to play Mario levels, but it unfortunately doesn't allow for the most well-designed Lego sets. You're intended to put them together in a layout for yourself, but then you might just have a bunch of random extra bits scattered around, and it doesn't really work as the best display piece. But a Paper Mario reference? There are a lot of expansion sets for this Lego Mario game, but I don't really like how a lot of them look and don't think you can get all too much value out of them beyond the game that will just get extremely repetitive. There's not all too much variety to be had unless you just buy the big ones, or just buy a lot in general. Sure, kids could get a lot of value out of them, and that's exactly who they made these for, aren't they? I mean, I had fun with the game, but I think there are probably more engaging ways for, you know, an adult to spend their time and money. Maybe I didn't really need these extra ones exactly. Sure, I don't really regret buying these huge amazing ones that give value by looking amazing, but I didn't really plan on getting hooked on these ones as an adult. I don't really have the infinite time that a kid does to bring all these sets, all the imagination that they need to last forever. And spending all my money on the infinite amounts of Lego Mario sets isn't exactly my biggest priority. Sure, this Bowser Castle is an okay display piece, but I can't afford to keep getting more and more just to have all these nostalgic references. I think all these different types of Lego Mario sets, the play sets and then the 18+ ones, shows just how much Mario can be for everyone, but it doesn't necessarily mean that every single thing Mario does and is has to be for fans like me. Just because I'm missing out doesn't mean I'd even enjoy it if I was part of collecting all these. I don't really need to prove anything by buying all of them, do I? But maybe I'm just not satisfied with these because I don't have everything to complete the set. What about the Luigi and Peach figures? I don't have those, and they interact with Mario, so technically the whole thing just isn't complete. I've spent so much at this point, why not more?
Yes, collect everything. Do whatever you have to collect everything to show your loyalty to your favorite companies and brands.
Better than anyone else could. Yeah, I can't miss out. Because if I don't have more than everyone else this Christmas, well, what a sad and empty Christmas it's gonna be. Hey, wait a second. Did you say I should do whatever I have to get the whole collection of everything? Why would you want that? You don't make any money that way, do you? Like when I stole that set earlier, that old grandma had already paid for the set.
Well, because I just want you to enjoy our product, you know? Who wouldn't want that for you? A happy and fulfilled Christmas? Living out your childhood again? You know, like you said, the best Christmas present.
Man, I am so excited to hate this.
John, I think I got carried away with all this. I became obsessed with getting these pieces of decor for my shelf. Who am I kidding with all this anyway? These companies, they try and shill out as much money from me as possible, from people like me, from idiots who like me, and I claim to be against it all every time. And I get sucked in anyway.
Listen, I was wrong. You can buy things just to enjoy it. You know, as long as you don't buy things just for the sake of having some kind of status symbol in a box, or to prove you're some kind of real fan through materialism. And don't be ashamed of what you buy either. I mean, it does say 18 plus in the box, right? But just don't waste your money. How much did you even spend by the end of this?
Like a small amount?
Oh, Jesus Christ!